Show me what you got! Hello and welcome! My name is Parky and today we're going to be doing another Let's Create in Spore. Now this time, in keeping with the last episode, we're actually going to do another thing from Rick and Morty, which if you don't know is like the most amazing cartoon in the whole world. In my opinion anyway, I love Rick and Morty. So this time we're going to be taking a look at one of my favourite characters from the episode with its giant space heads, and they're called the Cromulons, and they are literally just a giant space head. So obviously, with no arms and legs, we've really just got to focus on getting the shape of the head almost identically right if we can. Now that's a bit of a task in itself in Spore, unfortunately, but I think what we need to start out with is just straightening out the back a little bit. Now strangely enough, this creature seems to be facing the wrong way round, so the spine is actually at the front of the creature, shown by this little arrow, which is going to be a bit strange, but that's fine. We're going to pretend that that's not an issue, even though it actually is a real issue, so maybe I'll restart this. I just really want to make sure that the creature that we're starting off with has got the spine on the right hand side, which it does this time, thank God for that, okay. And it's almost the right colour as well, it's like it was meant to be. Okay, so where did we start off last time? We started by changing the shape of the spine a little bit, something like this, and weirdly enough, this is like, very strangely, the sort of general shape that we want. So the Cromulons have basically quite an epic looking chin, so let's just give him one of those, and I think something a little bit like that sort of shape should be about right. Now the main part of their head is wider than the rest, so let's just try and keep that definition with the chin going a little bit, maybe by doing something a little bit more like this if we shrink it down here, like so maybe, and then yeah, let's just extend this up here a little bit more, like this. Now I'm actually inclined to say that this is almost exactly what we want. Show me what you got. So we're going to stick with this as a shape. Maybe make it a little bit thinner at the top again. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, that seems good. Now it's not going to be a very big build, but it's going to be one of those ones that I'm going to try and get as close as possible. Now that's, having said that, that is within Spore, so you have to bear with me a little bit. So I think what we need is we need a mouth that has basically a very flat expression. Something that is literally just a line going across, if possible, which doesn't protrude too much. So I'm thinking maybe we go for something like this. I think unfortunately with all of these mouths in Spore, they're all going to stick out quite a lot, which is a bit of a pain. But I kind of like the shape of this one. If we make it really wide, something like this, and then maybe sort of just bring it down a little bit like that. So no, he's got a bit too much of a bottom jaw, I think. So maybe... Oh, damn, this is going to be really difficult, actually. I think we're just going to have to use our imagination a little bit again, because unfortunately all the mouths in Spore are not exactly accurate to everything that we could possibly want, which is a bit of a shame. Okay, so we're going to go with that as the mouth. I mean, I guess, aside from that, we could go for maybe one of these. What does this look like? It's got spiky teeth, which the Cromulons don't have, although it does sort of fit a little bit better in terms of how it looks. So maybe we will use one of these. Yeah, sure. Okay. I mean, we've actually got to move it up a little bit because their chin is like so bloody massive that it is literally about a third of their head space. Okay, now let's go for the eyes next. I think the eyes are going to be fairly simple. We're going to go for ones that are quite wide and glaring. Maybe ones like this. Yeah, okay, that seems good. Because they don't really seem to have any eye lids at all. And we want to face them directly forwards, if possible. So they're staring into your soul. And we're going to make these quite large as well, because the Cromulons have rather large staring eyes. Mostly because I think they're trying to absorb all the epic tunes that are being played to them. Okay, and then we've got one long sort of eyebrow across their head. Now, I'm going to try using these sort of antennae things, and we're going to remove one of them, like so, and then try and sort of force this to go a little bit like an eyebrow. Over here, a little bit like... a little bit like this. You see what I'm trying to do here? Maybe. I mean, it's not really working, so maybe we'll have to change how we're doing this. In fact, I don't like this at all, so let's just get rid of that. What would work well as one of those ridges? I guess what we could use is maybe one of these, and then sort of like, if we rotate it in, and then this way. And then like this. Ah! Come on, let me do it. Yeah, that sort of works. That is actually pretty damn close. And it's going to have shading as well. I like it. Okay, so let's move it down a little bit. And then, God, I don't even know how we did that. That's crazy. And we kind of want to give him some like forehead lines if we can. Some other marks on him. That might actually be slightly doable. Let's give it a go, shall we? Maybe if we use something like one of these. I'm not really sure. It's a shame there aren't more details that you can add to these guys in the Spore creation menu. I mean, these kind of look like those sort of stress veiny marks that you see in animes. But I'm not really sure. Okay, we're going to go for this. I mean, this is possibly the quickest build in Spore creations I've ever done in my life. But we do need to give him a nose. And I believe that noses are maybe in this menu. Is there going to be a nose that suits our needs here? I think maybe this one is the closest we've got. I mean, the Cromulons do have very generic looking noses. Unfortunately, this is not generic enough for our needs. Maybe if we add a bit of a ridge on here. I'm sort of having to mush a load of features together here to try and recreate what a nose should look like in Spore. If it's a human nose, that is. So let's just bring this up, and we're going to rotate it out a little bit like that. I mean, it kind of looks like his nose or a human nose. I'm not even sure. I mean, this is a bit of a vague build, to say the least. I mean, just look at that. Okay, I guess also, don't they have like a butthole on the back of their heads? I swear that's a thing. So we're going to put one of those in there, because I'm pretty sure that's part of the lore. And maybe we'll go for the jelly button as a base, a little bit like this. I'm pretty sure, again, it's right in the centre of his head back. What do you call the back of a head if the head is also just your body? That's a question for the ages. What do you think? And then what else can we put around here? Maybe some of these, just to make it look like he's got some hemorrhoids? I have no idea if this is really a good idea. I feel like it might be, though. Let's just do it. Okay, that seems good. Now, I want to see if I can actually get some of these like furrow marks on his forehead. I feel like it's going to be very difficult to do. But we're going to give it a go anyway. So how the hell are we going to do this? Maybe if we use one of these. No, because then you can have the bone plate underneath. I'm actually really not sure whether I can even do this. Let's just see if we can recreate it in the colour menu. I think that seems like the best bet at this point in time. So we're going to go for a yellow colour, because the Cromulons are actually all different colours, but the yellow one is the one that is the one that visited Earth. So maybe we should go for that instead. And I think he's actually more of like an orangey yellow. It's pretty damn close what we had to begin with, actually, in terms of colours, but we're going to go for a shade brighter like this. Okay, that seems good. And then for the coat, now this is what I'm going to see if we can get those forehead marks. Oh god, this is terrifying. Maybe not something like that. Please don't laugh, Cromulon. It doesn't do you any favours. You got the face that only your mother could love. Definitely. Okay, I mean, it's a shame really, because that's fairly close. I'm wondering whether we can just get some general shading going around the sides. I mean, that's sort of shading that might be good. Maybe this one, and then if we make it orange, maybe not as orange would be good. Maybe like just a darker yellow. There we go. I guess it's just a little bit more detail. I don't think we're going to be able to get those forehead or vein marks anywhere. Man, actually, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm like, Jesus Christ, Parky. What are you doing with your time on YouTube right now? You're literally made a bloody ugly face creature. If this wasn't a Let's Create where we're trying to mimic something else, this would possibly be the worst creation in Spore that anyone's ever done. Okay, let's see if we can get some of these marks on him. I guess some of these might look like vein marks. What's that even done? I can't even see any of those. Maybe there are some sort of like veiny marks that we can put on him. Let's have a little look through here. Maybe these ones? Oh, was that a sort of vein mark that we had there? Thing is, this is going to affect the legs, isn't it, more so than anything? So I'm really not sure if we're going to even see any of these on his body. Yeah, I'm not convinced this is actually even doing anything. So let's instead look through here and see if there's any other ones of these that will do what we want. It doesn't really look like it, does it, from the offset? No, okay. I mean, I guess this is good. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, let's just... how do you spell it? Cromulons. like that. I think that's right. Show me what you got. I guess it shouldn't be an exclamation mark, it's more like a blanket statement. Okay, right, let's take him on a test drive. So, as expected, because he doesn't have any arms or legs, he's probably going to shift along the ground like some sort of, like, weird demented head caterpillar type thing. Oh, there we go. Sort of like gyrating back and forwards. Wow, I mean, his movement's actually kind of more satisfying than I imagined it would be. I'm kind of okay with that, actually. Yeah, sure, I mean, look at his lovely butthole. It's not a poopy butthole, but it is a butthole, to say the least. Well, there we are. If you enjoyed today's frankly weird episode of Let's Create in Spore, then please feel free to leave your support in the comment section below. Leave comments as to what you'd like me to build next time, and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, awkward, awkward goodbye. Awkward.